The Western entertainment industry is rediscovering, for probably the 100th time, that viewers want to watch movies about women, which is the hilariously stupid and frustrating way that major studios work. They take what they and so much of the trade media sees as a gamble, telling a story about women, and when it pays off, everyone involved gets to feel brave and prescient, and everyone adjacent can feel better about making movies where women are sexualized set dressing, because the landscape is more diverse. It's paternalistic bullshit, and it'll take years before the system sees the revision it needs. There's no more disheartening reminder that this kind of change takes eons than looking at past examples of movies made with strong, distinct female heroes, and how hastily they were buried after disdainful release strategies scuttered any chance of their finding an audience. Look no further than Robert Fowler's Below the Belt, or Matt Cimber's Hundra. One was made in 1974 and shelved until 1980 due to complete disinterest on the part of the producers and distributors. The other was a European cash-in handed to an exploitation gun-for-hire with no international reputation, but they're both much better than that suggests. The films have a series of curious connections, beyond there being tales of female self-actualization through physical combat. Hundra stars Lorraine Landon, the star of Robert Aldrich's All the Marbles, his final film, and a work of harsh, shaggy, fatalistic beauty, and like Below the Belt, one of the only other films about women wrestling. Cimber would later direct several episodes of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling TV series, the story of which was lately turned into a Netflix series, with the same plot as Below the Belt, namely, a woman discovers herself in the world of spandex and suplexes. Below the Belt is the unapologetically naturalistic story of Rosa Rubinsky, played by a never-better Regina Bath, an actress who never got her due. Rosa hates her waitressing job and feels adrift in her life. Her boyfriend doesn't get her, and she doesn't really know what she wants to do with herself. That is until a wrestling promoter sees this.
Just massage. I'm gonna put you on a one-way trip to
the tour.
Mister, I ain't got all night. I'm warning you.
And offers her a chance to make it as a performer. She trains and trains, and finally begins to find her purpose, as well as friends and a professional rival, who gifts her with a goal to work towards.
Hey, Tommy, that arm hold? I'd sure like to know how to do it.
I wouldn't waste my time showing a runt like you. You're a runt. Hey, Fox. This some kind of joke, right?
Between being filmed and released, someone edited great swaths of the dialogue and action into montages set to terrible soft rock music. This hurts the film's momentum and messes with the mesmerizing realism of the very 1970s grimness and grime surrounding Bath and her wrestling cohorts. It does a disservice to the performances, both on and off the mat.
I love you.
I love you too.
Do you? Do you really? Let me love you, Rosa. You don't gotta do anything for me. No.
Fowler never directed another fiction feature, and this film has little to no following. But it's a lovely portrait of women being themselves in a world no one else can see. A community just for these wonderful drifters.
How'd the lady wrestler have her kid?
Yeah, how'd the lady wrestler have her kid?
Out of headlock.
Conversely, Hundra starts with a woman losing her community. Her village, comprised exclusively of women who have forsaken men, are brutally slaughtered by a roving gang of sex-crazed murderers with no greater goal than destroying self-sufficient women. Hundra, played by the statuesque Landon, now has the job of restarting her civilization from scratch, for which ultimately she needs to become pregnant to teach a new child the legacy of her people. Her quest takes her far into the world of men, and she discovers just how bad things can get when they're left in charge. When men are given unfettered power, and women have no role models, fear rules everything. Hundra gives the women she meets the tools to empower and govern themselves.
And will you do nothing either, woman? Or have you tasted filth so long you have grown to like it? You have a choice. You can either lie with them or stand with me.
There were dozens of also-rans after the success of Conan the Barbarian got a world re-interested in fur-clad warriors, but none had Hundra's conviction. Sure, it was a silly movie about a woman outsmarting and besting hundreds of men in combat, but when Ennio Morricone's fantastic score starts pounding, there is no more fierce nor inspiring image than that of Lorraine Landon handing prehistoric chauvinists the beatdown of a lifetime. Matt Cimber never left the B-movie doghouse, though his focus on fascinating, beleaguered women never wavered. Along with his oddball The Witch Who Came from the Sea and his contributions to Glow, Hundra deserves to be remembered as one weary traveler in a ragged, shiftless industry paying rare tribute to the women so frequently maligned by genre films. Women couldn't always be this strong in mainstream cinema, but in this low-budget misfit double feature, they're invincible. These two films have a lot to recommend them if one is willing to accept the hallmarks of their production and times as inescapable but essential parts of their texture. The thing I love most about them is the way they gently bask in the sight of women becoming friends, and healing from the sting of both masculine oppression and loneliness. The way they learn that the world can be beautiful if they come to rely on themselves. In these movies, real friendship means believing in each other, believing that we can reach our potential and live freely. My hope is that producers never forget that stories like this do endure. Women deserve to tell their own stories, and take the means of production and representation from the men who control the film industry. But there will always be a place in my heart for well-meaning, deeply endearing, and frequently heartwarming films like these.